Hello, everybody. Welcome to Got a Problem, Mate podcast. Thank you for joining us, especially if you're new, because we've got such good guests. Maybe you're here because of him, but maybe you're just a long-time fan of me, not so much Bilal.
Wow.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. Got a problem, mate, at gmail.com is the place to get
If
in
you
touch.
want to send a problem in.
We're on YouTube as well if you're listening on audio, a video cast. And why did you look annoyed about that?
No, I was looking like steely blue-eyed at
Oh,
the camera.
you were... Okay, right. I thought you were annoyed at me.
Also, for people that are watching on Sock Cam,
No,
I've
what are
got
you doing?
matching socks to my shirt today.
No one's watching
good.
Sock Cam.
Ah.
No one wants
Lovely.
to know about
Look, there's
Sock
no
Cam.
point in spending 12 quid on socks if no one can see they match
12
with your
quid.
shirt.
Do they fully match?
Yes, they fully match.
How's this happen?
Because you can buy it. It's like co-ords. Do you know about co-ords? Of course you don't. Look at what you wear all the time. You know you get like a shirt and shorts matching set. You can get
but
shirt
who
and
does?
socks.
Yeah.
Well, I've done that.
Shall we introduce our guest?
I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
Can you see I'm playing up? I'm acting
Yeah,
up because I'm
he's showing off
excited.
for you.
I text my very good friend Tom Parry saying that I've got the lead singer of Warmduscher on the podcast today. And he messaged back and said, holy shit. And I felt exactly the same. I'm very excited to have this man on the podcast. Mr. Clamsbakerjr is here.
What's up? What's up?
Junior,
What's
no
up?
less.
What's up?
Welcome.
What's up? Or the third, whatever you want to call me.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And basically just the king of nicknames.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's good. So how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. Good as I could. I'm beaten and broken and beautiful.
Now,
Yeah.
you were saying just before we started, you used to play ice hockey when you was younger.
Well, when I was really little, yeah.
All right.
yeah. I
It
grew
sounds
up in-
terrifying.
Yeah, it does.
No, it's great. It's good fun, but it's the same. It's the same old shit. It's like, so I grew up in Massachusetts in Cape Cod, and that's like ingrained into you. You know, like football is here. So, yeah, when you grow up, you learn how to skate, like ice skate. But yeah, see, there's the rink, and that's where you'd go as a kid when in a small town to like on the week, or sorry, you play ice hockey on the week. And then on the weekend, you'd have like disco on ice, and then you'd have rock night, and that's where you go to hook up, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And yeah. So it's a weird mix of this masculine like hockey energy, and then figure skating energy, but you're always in the cold, and like it's good. It's good.
Yeah, and a bit of, and is that where people go like to try and impress a girl or
Oh,
whatever?
big time.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And you always hit the benches or the penalty boxes and do a little making out.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Girls from other towns come, or boys, whatever you're into, whatever yeah, whatever.
See, and this is why I'm like so fascinated with, and I guess maybe I don't actually know what brought you here. I'll ask you in a minute, but like how you have swapped, because that sounds like every guy's dream is like when you watch American films and stuff as a British guy. Like that's the life I wanted to be like in America doing that kind of thing. And you've swapped that to come and live in South London.
Man, I've had a long ass story and a long journey. So I'm a woman, like any other thing, who's English,
Yeah.
British. She's Italian, but she was born here
Yeah.
and from South London, from Battersea.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, posh girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not then.
No, not then.
I'm,
No,
I'm not gonna. Not then. Yeah. Her parents are from Calabria and Naples,
Oh, cool.
and yeah. So they settled in Battersea. I met her on it sounds like it's a lie, but it's true. I met her because when I was like 19 or something like that, I was really into dancehall reggae,
Oh, yeah, cool.
and so I went to Jamaica because it's like from the Cape, it's easy to get to.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
it's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
flight,
Makes
you know what I
sense,
mean?
yeah.
Everything. So it's like, I want to explore this before I go and figure out what I want to do. And so I met her. She was there on a vacation from London, going to Jamaica. And I met her there pursuing this music thing. And yeah, we wound up getting married, and here I am. We had kids.
Wow.
I was in
Wow.
New York City from there. And then as soon as the kids start popping out, then you have
You
to
have
like
settle somewhere.
yeah,
for
to
their
settle
sake,
somewhere.
Yeah.
And so all her family are around this sort of South London area.
Mm.
And so we were fortunate enough and privileged enough to get over here and have support because we had 3 little motherfuckers screaming about under 3 in like one room. You know what I
Oh,
mean? So it's like
Yeah.
all girls too.
Right.
Little witches. Long live the witches.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
Wow.
making me not want to have kids.
No, you should.
Oh yeah, you reckon?
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't really
right,
do what
right.
you do.
Yeah, no.
Whatever.
Do you think you'll have kids now?
Yeah.
Now after that,
Yeah.
yeah. Three little witches.
Three little witches, yeah.
I love it. It's for me. I wish I had more. My partner's like, nah, don't want no more. I'd have a million of them if I could.
Oh, yeah?
But I'm a narcissist, so
You
what
should
it
have
is.
made- Well, and obviously, it almost feels like to hear that there's this responsible side to you, only ever having seen you on stage before meeting you today. It's like, you know, clamsbakerjr shouldn't have any kids. It's like a whirlwind.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. That's the grounding aspect of my whole existence. You know what I mean? It's like, and thankfully, I'm with someone who knew that from the get go.
Yeah.
Because it's not a conventional household or story or
Yeah.
whatever, but it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're both in it, and we know what it is, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so also I've met Marley a
Yeah.
few times because he came on my radio show when he was working with the drummer from Supergrass in his band. I
right.
think it's his godfather.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Danny Goffey when he was doing an album.
Okay.
And Marley was playing with him, and then I came to you guys. I was like, I know that guy, and then like saw you guys at Parquet Courts as well. Like
Oh, that was great.
yeah,
Love
yeah.
Parquet Courts.
Yeah. Like I know Sean a little bit, so like I was hanging out.
Which one's Sean?
Sean's the bass player.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh yeah, but
I love that band.
yeah.
Like for many reasons, but the one I connected with, weirdly enough, I'm so bad with names and shit like that. But the drummer,
Oh, Dustin.
I guess Dustin.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, him
might have that
and
wrong
I
with
were
him, but
speaking for a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
But the lead singer and stuff, I love his voice. It reminds
Andrew.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, people hate when you say that shit, but it's like it reminds me of Skip Spence from Or, and which is a really rare, singer, psychedelic singer from back in the day. And
Or as in O-R-E.
Or O-A-R.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, that sounds like something I want to check out immediately.
Yeah,
That sounds
well,
cool.
I don't. It's not for everyone, but it's like it's a specific thing. It's like it's one of them crazy underground. Like the dude who made it, Skip Spence, was in a. I think he wrote it while he was in a mental hospital because he was thrown out of a band and he was going through all his issues or whatever, and he wanted, same old story. But he wrote, the one record, Or, and you can kind of feel it when you listen to it. It's like really sporadic, really intense, and then it's a journey. I hate that word. Oh, it's a journey. Whatever. I don't hate it, but it's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-O-A-R.
Let's do some quick fire questions.
Oh, you want to do some quick fire
I feel
questions?
like this has felt too much like a radio interview.
Oh, and you don't know what
I don't know
where you fit into
I don't
this.
know
Go
what-
for
I
it.
don't- I
Yeah.
feel
All right, go.
So we're gonna do, because we've never met you before.
Yeah.
We're gonna do quick fire questions to get to know you.
Yeah.
So we'll take it in turns.
Go for it.
Go.
Okay.
Go. Have you got one?
Yeah. Do you have an air fryer?
Do you have an F?
Nope.
Damn.
Nope.
Good.
Tell me.
Go
Tell
on.
me about your living room.
My living room.
Yeah.
My living room is my bedroom, is my, all room. It's like, we're in there's 5 of us in a 2-bedroom. So my living room is essentially a studio apartment in New York City
Oh, cool.
via South
Via
London.
South London.
Yeah.
And is there like one like really like cool artifact or something that you've got in there that's like a bit of pride of place or some like unique thing in there?
Yes, I got a painting in there that's been up for about, since we've lived there. I got this is another story, but I do set build. I still do it. Set building.
Oh, no way.
On the side and decorate, window dressing and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so I had these frames that I had to do to put into a Ralph Lauren installation.
Oh.
And so they said, "Oh, can you make some like some abstract art?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because I needed the money. So boom, popped it up, did some abstract art.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I also paint as well, whatever, everyone does. But
Do you paint, Bilal?
No.
I do. Well, I did in New York. Yeah. So yeah, I painted these paintings, and then as a payment. They were like, oh, I'm like, I want them frames back because they were like 7 feet.
Yeah, right.
They're
Huge
massive.
frames.
And luckily where we live, they got big walls.
Yeah,
that's cool.
High ceilings.
High ceilings.
Yeah.
And so I took that shit, or I didn't take it. They gave it to me, and I put it in my room. And then throughout the years, all the kids have been painting on it.
Oh.
And so it's like it's developed this whole like insane.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
Good art.
Pets.
2 cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are your cats like?
Bernie, we got over COVID because someone abandoned him, and he hates me. Only likes women. But I love cats. I'm a cat man. Bernie's like the coolest dude on the block, but he gets bullied by the tomcats. But my wife or my partner or whatever, Claudia, walks him like a dog, right? Literally, I'm not joking. Like, she'll take him. He follows her, blocks and blocks and blocks around. So all the way, she can go like literally an hour away. He'll sit and wait. She'll hang at a place, and then follow her home. And then we got Mimi, who's the kitten, and she's just about 2 years old, and she
hates you as well.
No, she loves
I'm joking.
She
I think you might be the problem here, Clams.
No. She's the one that sits on my, like, she used to when a kitten would like just sit on the shoulder and hang out and stuff like that.
Yes.
And she's awesome, but she gets abused. We got the panther in the neighborhood, and we love him, but he's still got his balls intact. So he comes in. We let them run free, so we have to leave an opening in our window, which is risky at anywhere in South London. But
especially when we're about to put your actual address out online.
No,
I'm joking.
Yeah, but yeah, so sometimes that little fucker will come in, piss in the
God.
But we clean the house. We're not, and everything else. We're not stinkers.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I'm a cat man. He hates cats.
Really?
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. No, it's not fair enough.
No, but only because he always wants to talk about it on the podcast. So when you said that, his little eyes lit up. He's like, I can't believe I get to talk about cats.
There's a
You're allowed.
Cats.
He's not allowed.
I was listening to your stuff, right, with my wife, and there was a lyric. I'm sorry that I'll get it wrong.
It's all
But
right.
you say something like, I know this little kitten called Minnie.
I know a disco kitten named Minnie.
Disco kitten named Minnie. Now our kitten is called Minnie.
Oh, really?
So I paused it and I was like, did you hear that? And we kept listening to it again and again. Because we have a kitten called Minnie.
Yeah, great.
That's how I knew we'd get on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's jealous because he doesn't like cats.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
care.
just
He's
like
not involved for the first
I'm just not
time.
responsible
I know a
enough for either
disco
of
kitten
those.
named Minnie. She put a new smile on your necktie. That's
Yeah.
like about street girls that are like tough. You know what I mean? Like, so if you mess with her, she'll put a new smile on your necktie, like she carries a razor.
Yeah.
Ah.
So it's not
So
about
it
cats
is
at all.
about.
No,
So
it's
it
not
is about a little cat. Do you have one more quick fire question?
Yeah. What's your? Oh, have you got an enemy?
Oh boy.
You don't have to say who it is if you don't want to.
I'd like to say no, but yeah, of course, I've got many.
Oh,
Yeah. Menemies.
yeah. Enemies.
I'm my own worst enenemy. Put it
Yeah,
that
right.
way.
Okay.
Just to be that guy. Yeah. I've got many enemies.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So while we're talking about that, lyrics and stuff, as
Yeah.
Bilal just mentioned, like I reckon you must have like a record for having more lyrics that nobody else has got in any other song. Like you must say things that don't get said in any other song
Oh,
more than anyone else.
well, that's nice to hear.
So how, like, is there like when you're recording and stuff, is there kind of like an element of improvisation, or do you write your lyrics quite fastidiously,
No,
or how's
We
your?
all come up with ideas. I'm constantly thinking for various reasons, and constantly doing songs or whatever in my head. And then when we all get together, it's kind of like the way this project Warmduscher works is like they do the music, meaning Ben, Adam, Marley, Blue, and Quinn. I think, is that everyone? Yeah,
I think that's everyone.
Yeah, so they make the music, and like I will have been thinking of songs or ideas or hooks or things like that in my head, and then when we get together, I just bend that around what they're doing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, cool.
It's like hip hop, kind of like that kind of like.
But it's very vivid, like some of the things
It's a
and
storytelling,
stuff that you
yeah,
come up with
yeah.
is like very like imaginative and a real. You've got a real gift for like saying things in a different way or like coming up with like really strange combinations of words and sentences and stuff. And that's what really stands out. I just wonder how much of that was like premeditated versus like you're just kind of feeling the music.
I'll think of things so much as a curse, a blessing and a curse. So I'll think of a phrase over and over and over and over and over until it has a million different meanings or whatever, and then hook it in to not offend, not or maybe to offend, maybe not to offend, maybe or maybe to say something, maybe not to say something, but to keep it for people to enjoy and allow them to make their own world up.
Yeah, I think I listened to one of your interviews where you said how you feel like you should explain your lyrics because sometimes they're a bit random.
Well, it's like every song's different, but like some of the songs are like straight up. Like it's like you can, you know what I mean? Like it's like is what it is. And then other songs they come from big meanings, and you know what I mean? Like, but I don't want to be that person who's like, this is what the song's about, like blah 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 blah, and because I come from that old thing of like the old school thing of like I'm an entertainer. You know what I mean? I just want people to come up, pay
well,
money.
that's very evident in like what you do live. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
and I want them to have a good time. I don't want to be preaching to them, and like even though I do, but like I don't want. I want them. I don't want to say like, oh, this is like this, and you should do this, and you should do that, and you should do this. I want to be responsible, but not like not too preachy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, I really, because a lot of most of the songs come from like heartfelt places. You know what I mean? I'm a joker, but I'm not. It's the same as any entertainer. You know what it's like as a comedian. It all all the stuff comes from tough places, but you gotta laugh. If you don't laugh, you cry. Or then you cry and you laugh and you laugh.
Well, I think maybe that's other than not to diminish how good your music is and how you are as a band, but I think like maybe the times that we're in at the moment is also a component of why you're quite successful because you're not really like delving into any like issues. You're there to like really entertain people and make them forget about how shit life is. It seems when you're
all
there,
the issues are there. Like we are talking about everything just the way that we do it. So you got to decipher it, the puzzle. You pick it out, however you want to say it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like teachers. I don't like authority figures. But respect it. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like to be that person. But we're saying the same stuff. You just have to put your mind to it and figure it out, and hopefully it goes into a good place.
I think you leave everybody feeling like amazing after a show because
that's
it's
a
like
good thing.
just such a good party.
Thank you.
And I know that you used to also, I was listening, you used to also like curate club nights and stuff as well.
Yeah,
right?
I still do. I do all kinds of things.
So a couple of questions, right?
Sure.
Based on what you've seen so far from us two.
Yeah.
If you've got a club night and you're going to ban one of us.
Ban one of you?
Yeah, from the party. Which one's it going to be?
Probably you.
Yeah, okay. And which one is going to be allowed into the band?
Probably you.
He can't.
No, do you know what?
You don't want him.
My friend was... that's the reason I think why I do stand-up comedy, because I'm horrible at anything musical. Like, I've got no rhythm, I've got no voice, and I've got, like... a friend who was in like a fairly successful indie band in the 2000s was starting a new band. And he was like, "Do you want to play bass in my band?" And I was like, "I can't play anything." He was like, "Anyone can play bass." He went, "I'll lend you this bass. You got to learn these 3 songs, and then we'll start rehearsing." I was just hopeless. I haven't got the timing or anything, so I had to become a comedian because I couldn't do music, which I was gutted about. But
it is what it is,
isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's what it is. Anyways, welcome in the band. You're welcome in the band as well, man.
Thank you.
Maybe I just come and do. Well, I just do what I normally do. It's just some dancing near the front.
My whole time,
that's
I'm
all
going
I've
to
got.
spend my entire time in the band trying to get you out of the band.
Yeah. That's what'll happen. He'll probably last a song and then
Come on. Yeah. I wish I was musical as well. Where do you start if you have no musical ability?
On a podcast.
Well, no, that's where I'm from. It's like I'm not from a musical family. I'm from what you would call here as a working class family in the States. No music, I just love music. Like I love listening to it and stuff like that. I tried to play the guitar when I was a kid, but I hated the lessons in school, so I just gave that up. And then I figured out in my head about the time I was 19, like I needed to get off Cape Cod. Good problems to have, because it's like you're either going to be, the way I grew up, either a construction worker or a plumber. Nothing wrong with that. I respect to all that, but it's not for me. And I wanted to, follow like my sister. She'd gone off to the cities, and I'm like, I want to be in the nightlife, like in the parties and stuff like that. So, I was like, well, the two things I enjoy when I was at that age are music and writing. And I was like, how am I gonna, what career is gonna make sense? And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be I can't play an instrument, I can't sing, I can't do anything like that. So I'll work in music industry, and so I went to Seattle. I don't know if I'm answering the question.
Yeah,
right.
no, this is great.
Good.
Yeah, so I went off to Seattle to the now defunct Art Institute, which got bankrupted. It took me about 14 years to pay that fucker off, and now it's kaput.
Yeah, you can't get your money back.
I can't remember that. But
You
anyways,
just waited, held off for another few
anyway,
years.
that's another story. But went out there to Seattle to learn music business. It was like a trade school.
Right.
But it was the best thing I ever did, because it got me away from small town and easy. Like I could have just worked.
You just
Nothing wrong with it.
You just followed the path that
I could have followed the path
around,
and paint houses, worked in my dad's liquor store, whatever. I could have done that, which is all good stuff. All the stuff that I want to do now, that I'm like, But so no, I went to Seattle. I was like chasing this dream, and I went into the music industry, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, I'm in Seattle, the home of like grunge, because this was like to give away. I'm like about 50,000 years old. This would have been in '97, so this is kind of like the end of grunge, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
You'd say, but I wasn't into that. I was into like dancehall, hip hop.
Yeah. Right.
Punk.
That's so funny because like here, I'm guessing I'm a little bit younger than you, but not massively. It's like Kurt Cobain was like a huge thing, but it was very inaccessible from here. Like everybody was into like Oasis and Blur, and it was like, but because it was an American thing, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like the internet is now. So it's like, it's fascinating to that you was in the place of grunge, but not really into grunge. Whereas I think a lot of people my age would have been like, I would have killed to have been in that grunge area at that time.
No, I was not.
Do you know what grunge is, Bilal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was not. That was not my vibe at all. Personally, I was into like club stuff and electronic music. Like I say, punk stuff, hip hop, dancehall, soul, like all that stuff. So when I went to Seattle, I was like, oh, this is great. But, you know what I mean? There's what I really got into then, because like I was telling you earlier, where I met my partner, Claudia, who's from London, I started hearing like house music and stuff like that. I was like, whoa, even though there's this whole scene, but I'm from the small town in Cape Cod, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's a whole scene in Chicago and New York City with dance music and stuff like that I had no idea about, but I learned it in London, in South London, in off Lavender Hill. She was living in, and it doesn't matter. But so I started getting into that.
Yeah, right.
So I'm in Seattle. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm in Seattle with this grunge thing going on that I want no part of, and I'm like, but I like it, I enjoy it. I do enjoy the music, and I do enjoy like all the stuff. I listen to it and I respect it and all that stuff like that. I had a great experience, but I'm like, I need to get to New York City because I want to do house music because like because I'm getting into this house music thing. So we rented a U-Haul back then, put our stuff in the
back,
in the back, and we drove back to the Cape to my mother or my father's house at the time. I can't remember which one it was. Threw our shit in there, and then we had a friend who was living in New York who let us stay in New York for a minute to try to find where to live.
Yeah.
And that was it. We went there with like on a dream or on a wish or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, man, that's so cool.
Popped off to New York, got mugged like one of the first days, and in the back, I had, oh my God, that's so funny. Oh, these are great stories. I'm remembering.
This is great.
Yeah. So I'm sitting in Citibank on 23rd between 8th and 9th. It's probably still there, or 7th and 8th. And I'm sitting there, right? And I got like, Claudia has all her money that she made in Seattle. I have all my savings, which is probably the equivalent of like, at that time, this was 97, I think. So it was probably about like $1,300 for me, and probably about $2,000 from her, US.
Yeah.
But we had it all in cash on the table. And so the people that were setting up our account were like, they stood up and walked away. And then all of a sudden this dude started smacking the glass, and he started speaking to me in Spanish. And I don't speak Spanish. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And he started holding up money. And so I'm like, what are you talking? And out of the corner of my eye, I seen this dude just go, and take,
oh my God,
take all the money off the table. But it's all we had to get our apartment in New York, which were just about to sign that day.
God.
So I was like, ah! I started screaming. Claudia was in the line to exchange pounds to dollars.
Oh.
And the security was gone. So we were like, oh, it must be an inside thing or whatever. But I saw the dude. I just grabbed him, and I was like, I don't care. And I was like, but in hindsight, I would never do that because I probably could have got punched or stabbed or whatever.
And on Instagram, it'd have been like, he's gone nuts.
Yeah. I just grabbed him by the neck, and I was like, give me my fucking money. Like, oh, that's all I got. And I screamed in the top of my lungs, and he just went, he just threw it on the ground, and I just let go of him, and he ran out. So I was like, oh. I was like, praise. And then I went, and yeah, we got the apartment. We went in there and stayed there for a little bit, and then started blazing the trail in New York City, working for Strictly Rhythm, starting in the mailroom. I worked my way to sales, head of sales, and then got fired. And then started throwing nights. Throwing nights where I met. That's how I met all this English crew, the British crew.
Yeah, right. Because I was going to ask you, because you're very in the fabric of South London musicians.
Yeah, well, so my wife grew
Fat
up
White
in
and all those
Battersea,
guys,
Clapham,
yeah.
Battersea, Clapham, in the 90s, and she went to Elliott School with a group of guys who all went to Elliott School, like the May brothers who do Trash Mouth Records now.
Okay.
Which is all underground, like South London band stuff. But Hot Chip went there as well,
right.
and XX, like the big big
XX,
bands.
yeah.
Jamie XX.
Yeah,
Jamie
Jamie
XX,
yeah.
I forget
The
the other-
XX, isn't
The
it?
XX.
Yeah.
They all went there. So that's where Claudia went. And so, this is all fast forwarding through my time at Strictly. I was just
Not
like,
come dancing.
nah.
We have to say that.
Yeah,
So
it sounds like.
Hopefully that will come one time. I mean, I'm up for that shit.
Yeah, you're
too.
up for that? Well, you can ice skate, so you'd be great on there.
Well, I ain't ice skating for a while, man. My
I know,
ribs are still
but
cracking.
you've got the
I can do all.
you've
that
got the
shit.
feet for it.
Yeah. The belly's getting too big, man. So yeah, I was at Strictly, and I was like, I went there to backtrack because I was like, oh, I'm chasing this house music dream, and I got there, and I was like, oh, the club scene's trash here, and I was like, this is because I'd been to London and seen how amazing it is here, and I'm like, whoa, I was brought up by or not brought up, but being told by my sister and everyone about how amazing the clubs are in New York, and da 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 da, and I was like, nah, this is shit. I was like, this is like New York City's like trash ass. Like, I mean, the bar scene's great, and the like the age old saying is you walk out to do your laundry in New York on a Friday and you don't come home till Monday. That's true. Like that's one thing you don't get. Well, you can, I guess.
You just
but like,
bump into something, and you're like, I'm out.
yeah, you're done. You're done, and that's all real.
Do you ever stay out past 7 p.m. Bilal?
I stay out for weeks, man.
With me?
When I do my laundry.
Oh, when you do your laundry?
Oh, I don't do that shit. Like not anymore. Like I mean, it takes too much out of me. But anyways, but that was all. That's what I was chasing then, and so when I was at Strictly, I'm like, oh god, I'm at the mecca of fucking house music, and it's like it's trash. All the clubs are like these dudes like just bottle service and like which is fine, but it's not my vibe. You know what I mean? Because I was really nerdy into music.
Yeah.
And I was expecting this sort of like
experience,
mixed culture, like gay, straight, black, white, straight, everything. And I was expecting this like mecca of fucking party and
Yeah,
where everyone's accepted, but it wasn't the case. It was just like a bunch of like banker dudes with bottle services, and I'm like, this is trash. So I started digging up all these old DJs, like seminal DJs, like DJ Pierre, Tony Humphries, Satoshi Tomei, Hector Romero. I mean, I don't know, it goes on and on, but through my connection to Strictly. So I started doing these little nights, like in these underground clubs. And it was like, but in New York, I'm charging like $5 at the door. Maybe like 50 people would show up, and I'm like having to. I'm like, I'm losing money, but I'm giving the DJs everything that comes. Honey Dijon, I used to book.
Oh, cool.
DJ Heather from Chicago, like all like just crazy names.
Yeah.
And I did a residency with Pierre. He has no recollection of me. This is the funny thing now too. None of these motherfuckers remember me. Yeah. Every time I meet him, because I do the Paranoid London stuff.
Yeah.
Which is Acid House live thing.
Yeah.
Stop me if I'm.
No, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, when I do the Paranoid London stuff and I'm out in mixing in these worlds, and they're like, I'm like, dude, Pierre. I'm like, you remember me as Craig?
No.
And that's my real name. And then they're like, no, who are you? And then I start shooting off stories. I'm like, dude, don't you remember we did a residency with an Acid House, bring back Acid House. And remember that time you were supposed to play like near Christmas and someone broke into your car and stole all your records, and you used to ride around with this big dude named Tony, and you were married to Honey Jones. He's like, how the fuck do you know all this stuff? I'm like, bro, because it's like we used to do parties together.
Yeah, they probably partied too much though. Eh?
No. He's straight edge, like
right.
straight edge, like totally straight edge. But it's just weird. I was just like at that time, I was
like
very
a sponge.
Recognized. I was very just like a norm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you look any different? Did you have a?
Well,
what looks was you going for?
I probably had like a shaved. My head was probably had like a shaved head and like a frumpy, big. I'm short and stocky, probably fatter, and like I didn't really dress flashy or nothing like that, and I was really quiet. Right. I was just like one of them people. I was just like head down, work. And like, because I had I had a wife at home and stuff like that, and I wasn't chasing tail and stuff like that, which is another story, whatever. But like, I was just focused on this one thing. So I was a neek or a nerd. Would you say? Like just into music.
Nerd. You're a nerd, aren't you?
No.
Yeah.
A neek.
Neek. That's what they say.
I've not heard that. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Start using neek.
That's what they say here.
Yeah.
We would say nerd there, but neeks they say there. My kid, I got kids, but
obviously, like we don't know any vocabulary from like 10 years ago. It's probably about as far back as we go now. Do you know what I mean? So it's probably a new one on us that hasn't reached. You get anyone saying that to you at your shows? You're
What?
a Neek.
Neek.
Huh?
What?
Hang on.
What's
What's
happening?
going on over here? Kays, you know about Neek?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, sorry. Fucking hell. All right.
Oh, you know it?
And the Geek, yeah.
Oh, Nerd and a Geek together. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. That does explain you. If you could get a cat in there as well.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Don't do this.
What?
You're showing off the clams. I'm so sorry about this.
Oh, it's great. I love it. It's great.
I would to talk about music a bit. When I listened to your stuff, I thought it was a bit similar to Pixies.
Oh, right.
Is that offensive? Are you going to
Not at
punch me in
all.
the face?
I don't see that, but
I think lyrically, because it's a bit.
I think he's from my area.
Is he?
I think he's from Boston.
I know it's weird because it's not the same kind of music, but the way that the lyrics.
I
can
like
be a bit
Frank
mad.
Black a lot. I like
Yeah,
the
me
solo
too.
stuff a lot.
Yeah.
More than the Pixies, if I'm honest. But I don't like. Not that I don't like him. I don't like his persona, and I like what's her name? The bass player.
Kim Deal.
Kim Deal.
Yeah.
And what was this? What was their band? Cannonball. Like I love
Breeders.
Breeders. Yeah. So I actually liked that.
the edges of the
Yeah,
different.
But I like both of their. Side projects better than their
Right.
main project personally. But yeah, respect it all.
Now, I know you say like obviously Paranoid London, you've done loads of that over in America and stuff.
Yeah.
But now you've got a chance with Warmduscher, you're going over to America.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And that must feel great for you to have to be able to go back
That's amazing.
to America, but with being the front man of a band, right?
Yeah, I mean we just did a tour. We went to South by Southwest, and then toured around.
Oh, nice.
And it was insane. And so now we're doing this sort of like West Coast tour, and yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be the next up. So if I can make it to then, I think October 12th. Yeah. And then we start off in Portland. I've never been to Portland, and then we go to Seattle.
Yeah, great.
Homecoming to Seattle, and then go through California. And then go through the desert of Arizona. We're driving.
Oh man, I drove across America and driving through the Arizona desert. It's
beautiful.
So good. Yeah.
Did you go? What like season did you go through?
February. It was literally, and it's so vivid in my memory because it was the February before lockdown. So it's like we got back and then everything locked down like the next week. So that then having 2 years of not going anywhere, that just like stayed so cemented in my mind. And I drove, me and my ex, it was our honeymoon. We drove from New York. We flew to New Orleans and then we drove up through Texas and then across to San Francisco and flew home. Did like a month. The best.
Did you get the neon colors and all that through the desert? Was it during that?
No, there wasn't any.
Yes. Yeah. Well, anyways,
but
still amazing.
I like Yosemite and seeing the big. What are those trees? The big.
I know what you mean. The old trees.
3,000-year-old trees. Yeah. Fucking amazing stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the desert. I can't wait to get back to the desert. I think we're gonna hit it at the same time when I did it all those years ago, because you get this weird kind of like the cactus and cacti or whatever you call it, all through the desert and stuff like that. It pops out like a really neon natural color though.
Yeah.
So you feel it's almost like being in Vegas, but it's natural. It's natural in the
cool.
Whatever the contrast of the desert scape and the cacti or cactus or whatever, and it pops off these insane beautiful colors.
Man. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was in my own head. Maybe I was probably on a lot of acid back then too. So
we didn't.
Who knows?
We didn't get to. So we know that you did the club stuff.
Yeah.
And you went and you studied the music business, I guess.
Music business. Yeah.
But when did you start to
do music?
Yeah.
Well, I was in New York, and
it seems like quite an insane jump.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It was like through. So I got laid off or fired, whatever you would call it, from Strictly Rhythm. They got bought out. And then I started working for another company that was part of Strictly Rhythm, but I was just like, I'm done with the music industry. So I started putting on my own nights, right? And so I started bringing people over from the UK, like I was saying, with the connections here. And this one day, I had people come over, and we just had a session in a friend who was away in his apartment, and we had 3 days in there. It was just like a lock-in. Yeah, and then we just recorded an album, like just because we were fucking around. And so when I was like recording vocals through headphones, and this was Nando Vasquez, you know, my oldest friend, amazing guy, godfather of my first kid. He's a DJ. He's from London. He was over. He used to come over and help me do these parties and DJ and everything else. So him and I were in Hero. He's now in Japan, but that was his apartment at that time. He was I forget where he was. He was somewhere away with his girlfriend or something. So he gave us his apartment, and we were in there partying and like for 3 days and did this album. And then when Nando went back to London, he was like, "Oh, listen to this." And it was me doing vocals, and he played it to Luke and Liam, who I told you about from Trash Mouth and Elliott School, who were then Medicine 8, and they were signed to Parlophone. And so they were working on another album, right, to do another, their first one was like, they had like this whole like ride with like, they were it was picked as like the best album to come out, but all this politics got in the way of releasing it. So when it finally released, it wasn't as big as it should have been.
Right. Missed the kind of
moment. But everyone was like hyping it before it even came out. So they were working on the second album, and they were like, they heard what I had done in this session, and they were like, "Oh, Craig, you want to come over to London?" Meanwhile, I'm in New York. So and Claudia, I don't think she was pregnant. She was almost pregnant at that time. And they're like, "You want to come over to London and start recording for our new album?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I got nothing else to do. You know, I'm freelance working, set building, and throwing parties, and living in a 1 or 2 bedroom in New York, rent stabilized. So I'm like, living the dream. You know what I mean? Like it was like we had rent stabilized apartment, great place. I was like, yeah, I'll go. So I wound up coming over here for a month, and we started doing this project that was meant to be Medicine 8. But then they got sued for the name, so they had to change it to Medicine. And then we did the album, and they get it to Parlophone, and Parlophone was like, we're not into it. But they liked it, Luke and Liam, so much that we started a band called Black Daniel. And that was it. And then so I was like, that was, he named it Black Daniel, and I was like, yeah, I'm in there, whatever. So that was my next ride. So I started coming like over here every, I don't know, like 4 months or something like that. And I'd stay for like a month and just do gigs and shit like that, like work my ass off and like be like, like it was weird.
But also it's like you're almost an exotic thing on the British
100%.
music scene because of your voice. Do you know what I mean? Because you're American, but you're in this like, I hate indie, but in that indie world where everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, the first time I saw you, I was like, this is mad that an American band would sound like this. And then I obviously did some research. I was like, well, it's just you that's American.
I'm the only American one
exactly,
in it. And also the fact that we all come from nightclubs. It's not coming from, well, I'm coming from punk music. It's weird. So I love dance music and house music and techno, but I come from, like I say, hip hop, dance hall, punk music, rock and roll, all music, you know what I mean? But I come from, I'm just like a music nerd, neek, whatever. And a lover, that's my shit, so it was like, I brought that aspect of it to a dance world who then turned it into a band. So it's like, like with guitars and drums, but then I have this knowledge of like bands like Suicide is a big influence, I would say then, and like Big Black is another one, like where it's like synth punk and stuff like that, where it's like these sort of like
electronic and guitar.
And like improvised lyrics and sort of like show performances. But then it goes to James Brown and shit like that. That's one of the first persons I've ever seen. But I think I'm getting off track. Is this, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So So it's all that stuff bringing into these two worlds and then creating it. So I started doing that band, and that band over a period of time, maybe of like, so I wound up. So I was coming over here. We had the first kid, and Claudia was there, and she's obviously from this family in South London, and I'm leaving her for like months at a time or a month at a time with a baby in New York City. We've got no family there. And then I'm coming back, and she's like, oh, this is rough. She gets pregnant again, and it turns out there's twins.
Oh,
so
wow.
she's like, I am not fucking staying here. You got to work something out, because there's no way I'm going to stay in this apartment. Well, I'm going back to London because I've got 4 sisters, and a mother and whatever. They'll help us. So that's
here you are.
Here we are. So I came back. So I came over here maybe about 15 years ago, and I started that band then, and then that fizzled out.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
And then Warmduscher's been going like nearly 10 years now, right?
Something like that. I have no idea. I don't even like time. Is like, to me, I go in the millions. That's the way that's the way I see it. It's like 10 billion years ago. I have no idea, or 1 second ago. I don't know. Like and so so that band fizzled out, and then what happened is like we were in that South London music scene, which used to be. Well, I don't know. I'm going to say how I felt about it. Like I know the Windmill is really cool and stuff now, and I love the Windmill. But at that
Brixton,
time, at that time, there was no scene there. It was shit.
Yeah.
So it was like, but we were living in that place because they're the best owners in terms of like, they're really into music and the sound and everything else, and they'll give you a spot to try stuff out.
Yeah, I think, Harrison. Yeah. He plays there a lot.
Oh, right.
He did do. Yeah, a friend of mine.
It
says the same about the owners and
Seamus and Tim, they're Irish, like they're great.
Yeah.
They're like really old school.
Old
school, like there's those walls can talk, put it that way.
Yeah, I bet.
So we were doing that, and then that project fizzled out. But what had happened was the guys from the Fat White Family at the time had seen us play, the old band Black Daniel, at the Windmill. And they were like, whoa, we want this band to play one of our parties, right? And I think, I was living over here at that time, but I was like disheveled with all of this shit because I'm working a day job. I'm not making any money doing music. And whatever.
No stabilized rent over here.
No, but listen, hey, hands up to the British. There's a much better quality of life living.
Yeah.
I cannot say enough good things about this country. However you want to take it in that aspect of it, you know what I mean? Like in that aspect of it, in terms of the welfare service, whatever. So they saw us, and then they they started popping off and becoming this big band. And then when Margaret Thatcher died, they did this big, the bitch is dead they took over the Ritzy and they put the
in Brixton.
And they put this big sign across the.
Yeah, I was living in Brixton then. And I
really?
Saw it. I was like,
yeah, so they put the big sign up, the bitch is dead or something like that, and all this stuff was popping off on all this like whatever. And so they wanted us to play for their New Year's Eve party. And I was like, oh, well, the band's broken up, man. I can't do it. But I'll do something if you guys are up for it. Like, because I don't care. I mean, like at that point I was really reckless and whatever, was on a lot of this and that and whatever. And so we just did a gig, like an improv gig, and then it went off, and it was like we all gelled.
There's something there,
yeah, and just spiraled from there.
Yeah,
now here I am.
Amazing.
I think on Wikipedia it says that it was a house party.
Well, no, that's true, but it's not true. It's like, so what happened was from there, about like a year later, because Mika Levy, I don't know, you know Mika. She's like she's amazing. She did the soundtrack. She's an Emmy Award winning soundtrack. She was in Mika and the Shapes, Pikachu and the Shapes.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
She did the soundtrack for that Under the Skin, the alien.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So she's a Deptford area girl, and like
right.
And she's also around the Windmill scene, and I just love all the stuff that she does, and it's very obscure. And in her band as well, I can't remember Jungle. It doesn't matter, but everyone in that band is like, there's 3 of them, and they're all like, geniuses.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, she was having a house party because she was being evicted, and they had us play as Warmduscher at that time. But it was like we couldn't get a drum set in there, and we couldn't have a PA, so it was like we had a little amp, and we brought keyboards in, and the drummer at that time, Jack, was playing drums on a keyboard, like and Ben, who was playing bass, and I was just like talking shit as I do. But Dan Carey, who's a friend already, but not working with at this point, had come to see the party. Then he saw us doing that thing. He saw the vibe and the energy, and he's like,
"It's like great.
I got to record you guys like right away. I got all these ideas."
Yeah.
And then that's how it happened.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then coming up in December, you're doing the 100 Club.
Yes, 2 of them.
Yeah. Before I get to that, actually, have you ever been to? It used to be called Bubblegum. It's called the Bunker now in Deptford.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I go there all the time. I love that place. Big Dave behind the bar with his massive hands.
I've been there twice, both times with Dan Carey.
Oh right. So I used to run a comedy night in there when I was at university.
Okay.
I used to go Greenwich Uni, and then but anyway, I'd go there on the club night with my mates and stuff, and it was like back in the day when you could smoke inside. Everyone was like smoking weed inside, and all this kind of like stuff. Like it's where we went for New Year's Eve. You remember? I took you, and then but the guy on the bar, Dave, he sort of like owns a big geezer.
I can't remember.
Anyway, and this guy kept on coming up and saying, "Have you got any drugs?" I was like, "No, I haven't got any drugs." And he kept on the same guy. Dave went, "Is he bothering you, boy?" And I went, "No, Dave." I said, "Nobody in here bothers me. It's out there that they bother me in the real world, right?" And then at the end of the night, he took me to one side and he went, "Whoever's bothering you, doesn't matter what it is, whether you are money or whatever, you let me know and I'll get them taken care of." And I was like, "Fucking."
Yeah, that comes with a price though, too, doesn't it? You don't want to do that.
Dave's got my back.
Yeah.
Don't fuck me off. I'll get Dave on you.
You don't want to be taking favors from Dave though, because that should come back to you.
So we've barely touched on what happens in the podcast.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
No, you don't want to do.
Really good.
Have you got a problem you want to?
Not really.
No.
No,
You got any problems you want
I
solved?
brought 3
Did you?
problems.
Oh, you brought
Yeah,
3.
please, let's do that.
You guys can pick from.
Oh, right, they're in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh my god, my ribs.
Do you need help?
No, it's good.
Are you sure you've broken a
I think
rib?
I cracked them.
Okay.
So I got 3 you guys can pick.
Oh my god.
This is
Right. Well, I can tell you one of them I'm not gonna do. Is this
Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube is not for me.
No, I've never.
What else have we got in here? Is this
Can you do them?
This is
I
a
can
puzzle.
do the normal one, but my
Yeah.
kid does them in like seconds.
Oh wow.
One of them doesn't.
So this is
What is this?
an analog
Right.
ribbon
So
synthesizer.
this is a wild card.
You want that rewiring? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it?
Can you fix that problem? Can you put this into a box modified so I don't have to use it? Because I'm environmentally conscious and all this shit's going on, and I have to use these for my vocal treatment.
Yeah.
And I always have to use batteries.
Right.
Right. So I'm using a shitload of batteries, and I want to.
You want a plug put on it?
I want to put this into a metal box
Mm.
that I can take live, where I can plug in and use an adapter
Yeah.
power, like
Yeah, like AC.
resourceable-
In the
yeah,
wall.
and 1/4-inch jacks, rather than 1/4-inch jacks rather than stereo jacks.
All right.
It's just so specific.
I reckon I know about.
Yeah.
I reckon I know about 3 people that might be able to do that.
Does it have a
Well,
plug?
look, I'll pay.
Does
So
it,
tell them,
What
you know what I mean?
sockets
I've
does it
been-
have?
So it's got stereo jacks.
This is the first time someone's brought in an actual physical thing for us.
It's just such a surprise that you pulled this out. Yeah.
I didn't
they
even
told
see
me I
that
had to
down
bring
there.
it-
I assumed that was bring a problem, but I
Yeah,
didn't. I thought this was camera equipment. I didn't even know that was down there.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest buying.
I got this from Club Ouija.
Let me tell you, this
The chess club. I'm in a chess club as well.
Oh,
I reckon downstairs Dave
yeah.
might be able to do something with this. There's a guy who just lived downstairs underneath where I lived.
Really?
And then when I moved to my next flat in Brixton,
Yeah.
there was a guy downstairs who was also called Dave, and he was called Dave downstairs.
Well,
But-
take it with you. Tell him if Dave wants to make some extra change.
Yeah.
What is
Um,
this?
That's another. That's
Can you get it out?
That's a puzzle. I don't know. Another one my kid gave me.
Oh, I can't even get it out.
Do you- Is that
Is
the
part
puzzle?
of the puzzle? You got to get it out the thing. There we go. Right, what's this? 15 puzzle.
Yeah, you gotta get it then in sequence.
Get them in order.
Oh, 1, 2,
yeah.
3. This
You're
is
gonna-
proper
You're gonna
old.
do it now.
I'm gonna make it worse. That's what I'm gonna do. Right, I've got 1, 2, 4, 6.
I think that counts.
No, I haven't made it any better. I've made it worse.
Do you
Have
carry
you
this
got-
around with you? This
Just for today,
just
because I was
for
at,
these
I was at
little
Club Ouija
things.
last weekend, and they were like, "Oh, I have the fight case for you." And I'm like, "Oh, I got a perfect idea for this," because
Oh,
manager Carrie was saying you need to bring a puzzle to this thing. So I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm gonna take this back to the lobby.
you were told you need to bring a puzzle to this.
Yeah.
No, a problem.
A problem. There's been a miscommunication.
It's a story of my life.
Just any problem you want. So
Oh, you want other
Did you-
problems, right?
No,
it's fine. I mean, I
this
love
is
it.
good. It's a
Yeah.
physical problem. I reckon I know somebody who can do that though.
Well, take it and give it to him.
But then, how are you going to get it back if he doesn't?
Oh, this is one that doesn't work. So
Right,
that's the
okay.
whole
Oh, it doesn't
point.
work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What kind of batteries does it take?
2 AAAs.
I was going to suggest just getting, you can get the
Rechargeable
rechargeable ones.
Nah, it doesn't
Clams
work.
doesn't seem like kind of guy who's
Nah,
charging
nah,
batteries in
I've
his
tried
spare
that.
time.
I've tried that because what happens is when you use those,
Mm.
if the battery's slightly not charged, the
None of it works.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
really?
Exactly. So it's like a waste. It's environmentally unconscious, or it's not good.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my problem with that. I
Oh.
try to keep a good.
I've now
have you
got
done-
one, but no, now I've lost the 2.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
I feel like I'm making your kids' lives worse.
Oh
I
man,
touched
they
this.
do this stuff while they're talking.
know.
You know what I mean? It's like it's what it is.
I've got a problem that I want solving. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Because I've got a genuine problem.
You don't really have to take that with you. If
No.
you want. Yeah.
I mean, if you genuinely
yeah,
want this done,
of
I might know someone.
Yeah,
But it's
there we
called
go.
Downstairs Dave, so it might be a
Perfect.
while. Do you know what I mean?
Downstairs Dave. Yeah. No, there's
Fine.
no,
I mean, I'll
there's
text.
no-
I bet
there's
he
no
texts you
hurry.
back immediately.
there's no hurry.
But
Downstairs, Dave.
I feel like as a performer, entertainer, person who's creative, and from a
Yeah.
family that you sound like you come from a family that's not that, like you said about if you just
My-
stayed,
my
yeah,
personal-
your
and my-
like your
yeah.
parents and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I really struggle with my family WhatsApp group.
Right.
Like they're always like it's pictures of kids and dogs and like what am I supposed to send? Like a picture of the theatre I'm playing or whatever. And they're like, well, you're never very friendly in the group, or you never really. And I've got it on mute now, and I miss stuff, and it's like I'm not reacting to like pictures of my nephew. So I'm like, I've seen 100 of him. I don't need. Or even worse, my mum and dad's dog.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, do you have? I mean, I guess it's different because your immediate family, you live with your kids and your wife.
Our
you got
family
any
chat's
tips
wild.
for my family WhatsApp?
Just leave it. Oh, you just be like that.
I'm out.
Because that's the fun. Yeah, I love that little message. Like that's usually I got 2 brothers and a sister, and it always be, David just left chat, and then David's rejoined chat. That's what you just do. It's like
I'll leave it.
Fuck it.
I'll leave it.
Just leave it.
All right.
Post something really crooked. No. And then leave, and then talk about it over dinner.
Yeah. Well, they'll listen to this and they'll work out that I've left and why.
Yeah.
And you'll get the blame. So that's
fair
why
enough.
I'm exonerated.
I got
This
big
is great
shoulders,
for me.
man. I'm used to it.
Ah,
It's solved.
right. I'm going to solve this for you. I'm going to get downstairs Dave on it.
Okay.
Yeah. You seem skeptical that I'm going to make that happen.
No, I just no. Good luck.
Yeah.
With downstairs Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't believe he's a real man. I think you just wanted to keep that.
No, he's a real man. He works at Bounce, the table tennis place.
Oh, really? One of my other kids just started playing. She's really into that table tennis.
Ah.
Over by the Common. Well, actually, but like, yeah, she's.
Yeah. Great.
It's good. They need that stuff. They need more community centers or whatever for kids and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool. So anybody listening to this, unless they're in America, which they might be, but it's doubtful, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know.
It goes everywhere, right?
It does go everywhere, you're right. But Warmduscher are doing the 100 Club just before Christmas twice. It's like Christmas special, is it? Kind of?
Yeah. We're doing the 14th and the 20th. They're both sold out.
Oh, are they? Damn, because I was going to be like...
gonna...
No, I was going to come to the 14th before I go to South Africa.
We'll put you on the list, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll put you guys on the list if anyone wants to come.
I'm not bringing Bilal.
What?
Bring it
No, it's me. No, he said I can go on the list.
You go on the list. I'm banned, remember?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get banned. Go there and get banned.
Yeah, go there and get banned.
Yeah.
100 Club, that's amazing.
100 Club. I've never played there before. I've been there.
Man.
But, yeah, and then we're playing the Great Western, Glasgow. Like I said, our next stops, October 12th, we go to the States for a little tour, 3-week tour through Portland, Seattle, California, Arizona, Texas, New York, Philadelphia. And then we come back and do Glasgow in November. And then December will be the 100 Club.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. Well,
new album's coming.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, big one. Man, we're really excited about it. Lots of like guests on there and stuff, like some amazing features and like.
And do you know roughly when, or you can't say when it's coming out?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know yet?
No, I would tell you if I knew it, but it's like it's just trying to get
waiting.
it. It's like it's for many reasons. We're just
waiting for the vinyls, waiting for the right. Yeah.
I mean, waiting. Yeah, it's just a waiting game, isn't it? Like we've had it done for a while, but it's like it's really exciting. We self-produced it this time.
Oh no.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, last time was with the guys from Hot Chip and LCD Sound System. And Dan Carey before that, but this one's self-produced. And like I say, a lot of really good features, which I don't know. I'll say it anyways. Doesn't matter. There's a guy, Jeshi. I don't even heard him. Leanne LaHavas.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cuckoo Chloe. Irvin Welsh.
Wow. That's mad.
Yeah. So,
not
bad for a bunch of
cool.
knuckleheads.
Yeah.
A bunch of knuckleheads.
Yeah, man, you're doing it. You're living the dream. It's great.
I don't know if I'm living the dream or if I'm dreaming while I'm living. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Both.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming. It's been a genuine pleasure to have you on. Like, I was so excited when you said you could do it. And
yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah, like, I always have the best time at your shows. So long may it continue. Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Nice one.
Yeah,
right. We'll see you next week. We probably have a proper guest next week. Probably got normal guests, not
probably
proper guests.
Yeah, awful guest next time.
Awful guests to make up for such a good
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
We blew all the non-budget on this guest.